Okay, this is a video to explain Sun's seventh aspect in Vedic astrology. So first of all, let's explain what is Sun. Sun is, a star, a graha, and all the planets, of course, in the solar system revolve around the Sun. Sun is a natural significator of the Atma, is a natural significator of the soul. It's Atma Karga, which means soul significator. And why is the Sun signified with the soul? Well, I can get real deep and make a video on that alone, but I'll try to fast forward through this, and I might miss some points along the way, but you'll get the gist of it by the time I'm done explaining. Well, the Sun is sort of described as like some ball of fire, even though I believe scientifically the Sun isn't literally a ball of fire. Like, it's not flames in the goddamn outer space, but you get what I'm saying. The Sun is like a ball of fire, and fire is something that is like symbolic of the soul. When the universe, from a scientific perspective, was created, it started from, a Big Bang. You got the Big Bang Theory, where there was an explosion. And when there's explosion, there's fire. And the correlation between fire and our soul in the beginning of the universe is that the soul is described, from me reading various little spiritual books and stuff and learning astrology, it's something that cannot be killed. It's something that can never die and be destroyed. It's something that was never born and something that can never die. It has just simply always existed. And that is like the symbolism between fire, or the Sun, and our soul. It's something that has seemingly always existed since the beginning of time, and it doesn't seem like it's going to go away and just die or vanish anytime soon. And then our life, our existence, is not a smooth existence. No human being, no matter how wealthy they are or how poor they are, has a smooth life, has a perfect life. Even the most people who have born with a silver spoon in their life, a silver spoon in their mouth, rich, snobby people who can't relate to middle-class Americans, even they don't have a smooth life. Now, the things they might complain about and cry about might seem extremely insignificant versus what we have to deal with, but nonetheless, they are suffering in some way, shape, or form. And that is real symbolic of the Sun. The Sun is a source of life and light and energy, but in Vedic astrology, the Sun is also known as like a malefic planet or planetary body. Why? Think about it in a realistic sense. Sun is the Sun can give us life and light and all that stuff, but the Sun can also hurt you. If you stare at the Sun, you can go blind and damage your eyes. If you stay in the Sun for too long and you don't got suntan, skin protection, then you can get sunburn and get cancer. The Sun can make you dehydrated. The Sun can burn you. The Sun can harm you. As much as the Sun has as much capability of doing good, it has just as much as capability of doing bad. Just like a human. Just like the soul who is inhabiting a human body. We are capable of doing as much good as we are doing as much bad. And, we are not going to live this life without experiencing some pain, whether it's in an emotional sense or a physical sense. The Sun is like I said, the Sun is a star, and it's constantly burning. It's producing heat. And that heat, in a metaphysical sense, can be in a symbolic and metaphorical sense, can be similar to us humans having to pay off our karma, having to pay off our karmic debts. We are here to maybe pay for sins and or pay off debts of things that we might have done in a previous past life or over the course of several lives. You know, the sun is also like symbolic of God, or of like it's also symbolic of God, or whatever your higher belief system is, because at least from maybe a Christian Bible perspective, you know, God is described as doing benefic great things, but there's also a lot of violent things and violent acts done within the Bible, which is similar to the sun. The sun can heal and nurture us, but the sun can also be very violent and aggressive. You can be a healer and nurturer, capable of doing good things, but you can also produce a lot of negativity. And I'm not too scientific, so take some of the things I'm saying with a grain of salt. But you know, there's like, you got sun rays, and then there's like different colors of spectrums of light, you know, however rainbows are made, but there's different aspects and shades of colors and light being produced from the sun, right? My interpretation of God and our existence is that we are all a different aspect of God. We are all a different aspect of God. You know, God can be a good person, he can be violent, he can be this, he can be that, and we all represent those many different facets and aspects of the different types and ways of God. And it's up to us to decide if we choose to stay in that one mode, stay fixed in that one setting. And it's up to us to, you know, through prayer or rituals or whatever divine things you want to do, to find the right way back to the source, you know. And we are just here to pay off our karmas, pay for things that we've done. Our life is sort of metaphorical or symbolic of Jesus's life, in a sense. I'm not too versed on the Bible, so y'all can crucify me in the comment sections or whatever, but to my little limited understanding, it's said that Jesus was, you know, put on a cross and he died for our sins, and he was condemned by the people around him. Well, just like he was put on earth to pay for our sins, I feel as though we do the same thing. We come to earth and we will be condemned by people for what we think and believe in. We will be condemned by people, or might look crazy, and we will suffer. If Jesus, the Son of God, in the Christian Bible, in that perspective, if he is someone who is described to have suffered and died for our sins, well then, who are we to expect a life where we don't have to suffer either? So that is my views, and this is why the sun is sort of considered to be a malefic planet or planetary body in Vedic astrology. And this is why sun can be symbolic of the soul or of God or a higher divinity. You know how I said that if you look at the sun, you can go blind or it can damage your eyes, so eventually you don't see nothing? Well, for maybe a more humanized sense, us as humans trying to learn about God or a higher divinity or power, whatever you believe in, we'll never be able to fully grasp and see everything. We'll never be able to truly be able to maybe perceive a real image of God, or really be able to know God in and out. We're not meant to fully see it. We'll go blind. We'll lose ourselves trying to fully see it and understand it. We can only take maybe glimpses of it, we can only get a glimpse or a small percentage of understanding, but we can't really just stare and just fully understand God or whatever. We can only strive towards it. Now let's get back to the astrological perspective and not so much of the spiritual philosophical perspective of sun. So like I said, the sun represents your soul, it's your ego. You know, your soul inhabits the body and the mind controls the soul. I mean, the mind controls the body and whatever house sun is in, it shows how your soul is expressing itself, and it shows how your soul develops itself. So, and with the seventh aspect, the planet gives off the energy of the house it sits in, the house it rules, and the significations of the planet and sign it is, and gives it with the other house. So for example, if sun is in the seventh house, it doesn't matter what sign it is. I'm just being real generic, because if I got real specific, this would be a 50-minute long video. If sun is in the seventh house, then naturally we see that your partner, the people you date or people you do business with, they will have a great influence on you. They would be very dominating upon you. Their ego, their aura, overall energy would be very dominating and influential on you. It also shows that your ego, your soul, is heavily, your confidence, your ego, your soul is heavily determined by other people. How they feel about you, how they think about you. You've discovered who you are. Your confidence is dependent on who you date or the people that you just deal with in general. Which is one of the reasons why sun is sort of debilitated in Libra, who originally rules the seventh house. So that's what sun is doing with its seventh aspect. If it's in the seventh house, it's taking the significations of sun, which is the soul, your confidence, your ego, and the seventh house associated with business and marriage and relationships and intimate one-on-one interactions. It shows that the partner will want to impose their ego, their soul, their will, and impose it on you, your body and your soul. Impose it on your first house. And since the sun this is your chart, this is your sun, and it's in the house of marriage and relations. So it shows that your sun, your ego, your confidence is expressed and developed for relationships. So let's look at another house. Let's do sun in the fourth house. Sun in the fourth house means that you was born at night. And yeah, sun in the seventh house also means you was born maybe around sunset, like maybe 6 p.m. or between 6 or 7 p.m. you was born. And fourth house means like you was born at night, like midnight likely. But anyway, the fourth house represents the mother-like figure, fixed assets, property, indoor dwellings. So the sun is not comfortable in the fourth house either. The sun loses its directional strength in the fourth house. Directional strength is positions where planets are feeling real strong and confident in. Like I said, the sun is in the fourth house, which means that you was born at night when the sun wasn't up and present. So therefore, the sun feels very weak. The sun can't shine if it's nighttime. The sun can't shine in a house. It's not seen. It doesn't feel noticed. So the sun also burns. It sort of illuminates and burns the houses that it comes into. But it shows that your ego, your soul, who you are, is expressed and developed through the mother type figure. Or it is developed when you're just in a home-like setting, when you're indoors and away from the world. Your ego, your confidence is developed there, or you just feel great in these places. But because you was born with your sun in the fourth house, and it's nighttime, and the sun is just gone, and it's in a house, it shows that your confidence towards the seventh aspect, which is the 10th house, will sort of be weak, because your ego, your soul, your confidence has been nurtured by a mother or mother figures. It's been nurtured away from the world. It's been mainly nurtured in places of luxury and comfort. It's not, you don't feel confident when you're on a spot, when you're in a career setting, you know, in a general sense. I'm being real general because I need planets and nutshell to be real specific. But with the 7th aspect, it naturally shows that you would desire to take the 4th house things along with the significations of sun and impose it on the 10th. You might want to be a dominating figure in the career, corporate, work world, but you would like to do it from maybe the luxury of home, naturally. You would like to do it from the luxury of home, or you would like to be a dominating figure, but you might not have to show your face too much. You might not have to reveal yourself and really crack the whip. It's like someone who runs a company and they are responsible for your ass being hired, and they have the ability to fire you, but you never see this person's face. You know, they might ask for you to work hard for the company, or that y'all need to improve this, y'all need to work harder and better, but you never see the boss face. That would be like, you know, potentially someone with the sun in the 4th house. They develop their ego and soul in the 4th house, and they would like to maybe bring those maybe reclusive, nurturing yet dominating ways into the corporate world. They might rule with I don't know, it'd be like a benevolent dictator or a benevolent enforcer. Someone who might rule, but maybe not necessarily with an iron fist, but planetary aspects and all that stuff matters. So let me think of another house. Let's say that sun goes into the 8th house. The 8th house is occult, mysticism, taboos, secrets, death, endings, transitions, inheritances, spouse's family, your in-laws. So it would show that your confidence, your ego, your soul expresses and develops itself by uncovering the secrets of other people. By learning occult mysticism, it feels confident, it feels great, it feels strong. By managing and dealing with the wealth of your spouse, you feel confident or good. I don't know, by dealing with things that could maybe be associated with death and or whatever, might develop your confidence. So with Sun's 7th aspect going into the 2nd house, which represents the family that you came from, your speech, things that you eat and consume, it would show me that you are someone who would potentially seek to maybe dominate your family, or you might use your ability to uncover secrets. You might use your ability to uncover secrets and dirt to dominate the family that you come from, potentially. I don't know, you might develop the ego, the mind might use secret, taboo, and occultic knowledge that it gained, and use it to maybe manipulate the family, control the family, get upper hand on the family that they come from, or maybe use it to, in some way, shape, or form, to make finances, to make gains. They'll use the secrets that they learn and uncover from other people, or their ability to gain secrets or secretive knowledge to make financial gains, and they might use the knowledge to influence the family that they came from. That's what you would see with your sun being in the 8th house with the 7th aspect. And let's see, another another house. Let's say the sun goes into the third house and then I'm done. Sun goes into the third house. It shows that you naturally, your ego, your confidence, your soul is developed through being around your siblings. Your siblings had a great impact, specifically your youngest sibling, because that's what the third house mainly represents. The youngest sibling had a great impact and influence on your soul, your ego, your personality. And it shows us that, through writing, through communicating, through your neighbors, and taking a lot of little short trips and traveling a lot locally, your confidence is developed. You might be someone who is very communicative, and you might be someone who's not afraid to speak up and is very communicative and is going to say how you feel, with sun being in the third house, and with that seventh aspect going into the ninth house of father's teachings, gurus, mastery of an education, politics, law, it shows that you might take your confidence, your natural skills with maybe your hands and communication, and you might express and impose those skills onto the ninth house. You might want to you might want to try to outsmart or outshine your teacher, because the ninth house can represent teachers. It's like almost like being in school, whether you're in high school, middle school, whatever, and you're in class, and the teacher is showing you how to do a math problem, how to do algebra, and you told them, and you're a student in class, you're naturally getting to class, and you tell the teacher, hey, I came up with that same answer, but I got it in a different way, and I got it quicker. And then the teacher be like, well, come up and show me, what did you do? And you showed them what you did, and you're like, I did this. And the teacher might be like, okay, well, your answer is correct, and I see what you did, and you took some shortcuts, but this techniques and method that you did to get to this solution of this algebraic equation will not work all the time. It worked in this situation because you took some shortcuts, but it won't work all the time. So I don't know. We could just see, with sun being in the third house, aspect in the ninth house with the seventh aspect, and with your confidence having been developed through communication and writing, and maybe being able to gather information quickly and locally, you might feel as though that you can take those same quick analytical interpreting skills at the third house and use that to outshine or impress someone, a guru who's been doing this longer than you have. You might be able to learn and pick up things quickly with sun being in the third house, aspect in the seventh house of with sun being in the third house and aspect in the ninth house of law and politics and teaching. You might be able to pick up things quicker, but you not likely going to outshine the teacher and master. But you might desire to either impress the teacher and master through your quick analytical abilities and easy skills of communication. It might naturally show, since the ninth house deals with laws and politics, that you might be someone who might want to travel long distances or really get on a big platform and express your political views on people. Or you might want to be a great debater or something, I don't know. But you get what I'm saying with sun taking its seventh aspect and the significations of the sun and the significations of the house that it is in, which is the third house, and wanting to impose it onto the ninth house of teaching, law, and politics. I can't really explain it any clearer than that. Sun's seventh aspect is pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward, you know. The seventh aspect of all the grahas, of all the planets, is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. And I told you this if it gives us a sun. Sun is ruled by Leo. Sun and Leo's also Sun's Mutukon sign. It feels real comfortable in that sign. Sun originally rules the 5th house. These are the things I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video, but it doesn't matter. I'm just making sure we're not missing nothing. Sun originally rules the 5th house of children, dating, romance, gambling, politics. Yeah, those are the things that the 5th house represents, and Sun naturally embodies those traits and qualities, but that's essentially it with Sun's 7th aspect. I'm not going to beat a dead horse, and it doesn't get really much deeper. It's pretty simple. See y'all when I make my next video.